big thing for us was the El Toro coffee bar in Muswell Hill, Broadway, where the kids used to hang out. My first Purple Hearts came from there. I got expelled from school. I was about just 15, I think, because I was caught in the woods with my girlfriend with my trousers down. Let me tell you, baby, it's called rock and roll. I'm lying in bed 3 weeks thinking this is great. And then my mum says, come on, you've got to go and look for a job. I eventually got a job at Salmons Music in Leicester Square, where they fixed woodwind and saxophones. I learned a lot about how little musicians take care of their instruments. So we had a clarinet in one day, and it was filthy, stunk. All the pads were rotten and everything. They said, oh, it's Ackerbilt's clarinet. Pete Quaife was working at a place called The Outfitter in Charing Cross. The Outfitter was a fashion mag, and Pete was really into graphic art. He was a really good artist, cartoonist, as well as a great musician.
Have I the right to hold you? You know I've always told you.
Me and Pete became really close. We would meet at lunchtime or after work and go and seek out all the clothes shops in Kingsley Street and Carnaby Street, and way before it became Carnaby Street. The fashion thing for me was very much like, if older people didn't approve, we must be doing something right.
She looks familiar, doesn't she?
You know, walk down that road with a slightly long hair was frowned upon. You know. I'd go to the clothes shop and just get the silliest hat I could find and just stick it on my head and just, you know.
No, that's not the hat. That's a device for measuring the exact conformation of the head.
Everybody's going for those kinky boots, kinky boots.
Kinky boots, it's a man.
Women's fashions were a lot more interesting than men's.
Undercarriage up. Beverly, meanwhile, is in landing strip.
I really liked the clothes that my girlfriends wore. I used to try them on. PVC, I thought it was really interesting, and leather. And another one, David, made me a pair of thigh-length boots.
Leather is so kinky.
Come and get those kinky boots, boots, kinky boots.
The way I was, the music and the girls and the self-expression and the clothes were all kind of interwoven, like all a part of the same adventure. Because I was young, I couldn't get into the clubs. They used to always let me in the back door, and there was a scene, the Piccadilly Club and Studio 51. I went there one night and the Stones were playing.
I wanna love you night and day. Well, you know my love and I fade away.
Amazing. That was one of those moments. Yeah, moments.
I believe you.
Me and Pete carried on playing together while Ray was away at art school. But of course we had a problem when Ray came back into the fold, as it were. We realised if we were going to make a band, we needed a singer. None of us really knew that much about singing. I always thought Ray should sing because he could kind of mimic Buddy Holly quite good. We all liked Buddy. As fate had it, we met two upper-class guys. One was a stockbroker, Granville, and the other one, Robert, ways. I don't know if he came from an aristocratic family or whether he faked it. They were about 7'2" and still are. They were rather sort of debonair and sort of upper class. And I remember Robert going to a restaurant, ordering food, and deliberately leaving half the food, because that's what he did. He didn't eat all the food, whereas we'd go and eat everything on the plate. That was the way things were in our house. If you didn't eat the food quick, someone else would have it. Granville was looking for a band that could back up Robert, because Robert fancied himself as a highfalutin singer to impress all the debutantes and all his posh party friends.
The changing of the guard, we made our sacrifices. We haven't got a butler or a maid.
So we did a gig at the Grocers' Hall. Robert was singing, us like the Ravens playing. We were doing a song called Rave On. Robert was going, Rave on, tell me. You know, it's really immaculate several-way suit. And halfway through the song, he hit the mic with his two front teeth and he broke one of his teeth. And he runs off stage and we're still jamming away. And we thought, well, someone's got to sing. And I'm sort of going like this to Ray, right? And so Ray goes up to the mic and starts singing Rave On. And it seemed so natural. The band was born out of that, from that funny gig. And Robert and Granville decided to be our managers. We thought, oh, this is great, you know. Maybe we're going to hit big time. One little piggy went around. So you got a bunch of kids playing instruments, wanting to conquer the world. We didn't know what we were doing. We took on two managers that didn't know what they were doing either, so it's a recipe for either greatness or disaster. It was just kids struggling, you know, struggling for identity, trying to do something they wanted to do but didn't quite know what it was.
I found the Kinks by accident. I was going to a Chinese restaurant on New Year's Eve and I saw all sorts of people coming in, long-haired boys, amplifiers moving in, and then all of a sudden out came the music. It was a group known as the Ravens, a little while later known as the Kinks. And from then on, you know, I couldn't wait to get my hands on the Kinks.
We got to deal with Pie Records. Ray and I were so excited because we were going to be on the same label as the Searchers. Sweet from my sweet, sugar from my... Your best kiss thrills me so. We were recording in the same studio, so we thought maybe we should do a couple of tunes like the Searchers. One of our early singles, Before You Really Got Me, was called You Still Want Me. So if you play it, you can imagine the Searchers in there somewhere. And you still want me, and you still want me. I know. But it flopped, and we had a couple of records and they flopped. And the wind is blowing cold across the moor. At that time, like 63, all the amps had more like clean, chingy noise to them, like Adventures and the Shadows. They were good, but I was looking for something that had a bit more balls and bite to it, and a more expressive sort of aggressive sound. I was always messing around with stuff. I found this amp in the store up the road from where we lived. It's about that big, I think, about that big. A little green amp called an El Pico. I plugged it in and messed around with it. It's too weedy. It was like, you know, same old, ching, ching, ching. I got so fed up with it, I got a razor blade, a single-sided Gillette, got hold of the back of the amp, and I sliced the cone all the way round, so that the cone remained intact. I didn't think for a minute it was going to work, but I plugged it in. I didn't know anything about electricity, and I did get a terrible shock, and it just did throw me across the room. And like Mum came up from the kitchen, "What are you doing?" So this sound I developed was like an emotional platform for me. It felt like me. It was like an extension of my own inner rage. You Really Got Me was really born in the front room in Denmark Terrace. Ray one day came in and started playing this on the piano. That lovely old upright piano we had, which had all the beer over it from all the parties and all the piss-ups. It was always just perfectly out of tune. And that was another key moment, I think, when I played it on my guitar.